Hi, this is Dave, Fellering Guide. Welcome to this week's navigation task. This one is same landscape as last week. We're in the moors in Scotland, but this time what I've done is I've circled 12 features on the photograph, and I've circled 12 features on the map. But two of these features on the map don't match up with the photograph. So what I want to know is which features are incorrect and where should they actually be. So two of the features on here on this map don't marry up with the red circles on the photograph. So the first thing to note on this is that we're looking from roughly north to south on the photograph, whereas on the map is orientated the other way around, so we're looking at that with north at the top. So what I think it's useful to do is orientate the map. So we'll just spin it round so it matches the landscape a little bit more. So that now is more of an accurate representation of what we're looking at. Imagine that we're viewing from down here off to the south, off to the bottom of the map, which is actually north, and we're looking to the south. So what can we see? So let's start at the left hand side. So we've got summit, a drop, a summit across the other side. That's from last week's task, if you saw it. And then we've got a peak over in the background there. So looking here, that's the first peak. That's the one across the other side of this flat area. There is the stream draining out, and that is the summit that's away over in the background. So all of those marry up. Let's have a look. Can we see another peak out behind this Binion Moor? So going from there, yeah, there's that. And then if we come around here, we should see this summit. If we look closely, we can actually see it's almost a double summit. I've put the circle on the one that's closest to us, but there's another one just behind that. So let's check on that. So coming round there, what you can see, we've got the summit there and one slightly behind it. So that's what we were looking at there. So that matches. And then we've got the head of this big wide valley here. We're coming to now look at these features. So we should have 1, 2, which is, you can see there's a double summit there, 982 and 975 on Gearnach and Garbenach, and then this feature which was on last week's task as well. So can we see those? So going round the head of this wide valley drops out of sight, and then we've got the summit and then the double summit that I was just talking about there, so that makes sense. And then out the front, this big feature that we were looking at last week. So that all matches. That's all right so far. And then from the double summit back to that, and then we go down and up and down and up to another obvious feature there. So having a look at that, there's our double summit. There's Stob Cora Cairn. And then look carefully here. If we go along the ridge, we see it drops down, and then here, look, we've got this little ring contouring there, which indicates it goes up again before it drops down and up to the summit of Ambodach. So that wasn't sure. Oh, sorry, the red circle on the map was between these two summits, and it's not shown on the map. Let me show you what I mean. This one here, that's that little ring contour, and then that is the summit of Ambodach. And then from there, if we come along, the photograph ends. We know this looks like it's going up to some high point here to the right as we're looking, and that, if we have a look back on the map, that goes up here, so we can't actually see that. So this Sgurren-Lebert isn't shown on the photograph, so we can't see that on the photo. So that red circle needs to be over there, and then that only leaves us with one more to look at. And on the map I've circled this 483 point here. So if this was correct, looking behind it, the ground rises, 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 and then has a ridge behind it. We can also see that this is quite a bit lower down than this feature that we looked at earlier. So actually on the photograph, it looks like the ground actually dropped away behind this point and extends off to the right there, and this height here looks similar to what we've got there, whereas on the map it looked like the ground was rising behind the point up to a ridge off to the right. So actually on the map the circle is on the lower ground down in here. So the point that we're actually looking for circled on the map is this point there. So those are the things that are wrong. So the red circles on the photograph weren't that, it was that, and it wasn't that 483 point there, it was higher up on the ridge there. So those were the things that you should have been looking for. Everything else was correct. So I hope you got it right. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something from it. Thanks for watching. Look out for next week's navigation task. Bye for now.